Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So great to have you here yet again. Okay, so in this video, I just want to look at staging. So staging for your properties is about looking at your target audience and then selecting the right kind of furniture, layout, vibes that your clientele might want. So for example, if you're in an area which attracts a lot of families, you might want to have some decor in the rooms like, I don't know, popular toys, Paw Patrol, something like that, that people and the children are into these days. And they'll be like, Mom, look, that room has Disney, a princess, or something. Let's go and stay there. So it's really interesting how you can kind of capture people's attention by designing the room in a certain way that maybe an adult might get input from their child and be like, oh, my kid would love that. Like, let's do that. Why not? And that will sell it rather than the property itself. All these little things. Like, it's all about having fun when you go on these trips, when you go away, when you stay in an Airbnb. So if you as a host can show it as a fun environment that the family might want to go on just based on the photos, you've sold it. So you've probably heard about the term staging thrown around. So does it really work? Let me show you the numbers. They speak for themselves. So some steps that really highlight the power of staging. 83% of agents say that staging helps potential buyers to pick the potential property as their future home. That's a massive deal. According to real estate, staged homes sell up to 70% faster than those that are just left in plain style. So when they're staged and professionally photographed, staged properties get twice the online engagement than the average. So staged properties often sell for 5% more, depending on the market. When you consider how little you might spend on staging, between £1,000 to £5,000, you can really see the returns of 10,000, 30,000 or more. In the world of property, these kind of strategies can really promise a return like that. So staging works because it's all about psychology. Here's the thing. The buyers will make the decisions based on their emotions as much as their logic. So when you're staging a home, you're creating a story, you're helping people imagining themselves living there. Not just the physical dimensions of the rooms, it's the emotional connection which drives faster decisions. Empty rooms, no matter how large the house is, can feel a little bit cold and impersonable, but staging does the opposite. So it transforms the spaces into something functional, welcoming, and memorable. It showcases the property in its strengths and memories and thoughts, and they'll remember it better when they're reflecting on it. So the truth is that buyers struggle to visualize the function of the space. Even with the best description, staging takes the guesswork out of the decision. So you can get companies to come in to specialize in designing the property in a certain way so that people will connect better with the space and it will be staged better. The approach of some of these kind of companies focus on maximizing the profits and the return of investments based on the buyer's lifestyles. They're designing the space based on a certain target market. So some key principles for your own staging decisions would be: make sure that you know your target market. Like, before you do anything, ask yourself, who is going to come and buy or rent this property? A first-time buyer or a couple might appreciate little touches like a cozy feel. A young family will look for practical layouts, dining areas, place spaces. Downsizers tend to go for low maintenance, easy to manage spaces like a small garden. Landlords want properties that are easy to maintain. Investors want spaces with potential, things like room to grow, high rental yields. So considering the staging for each of those groups is guesswork, but it is smart, focused marketing. So number 2, don't stage every room. Not every room needs to be staged. Focus on the areas that matters most. So like the living room, make it feel cozy. You want to go in and be like, oh, this is nice. Nice, comfortable sofa, good lighting. A simple color palette can really transform the atmosphere. A master bedroom, very, very important. Create a sense of soft bedding, harmony, happiness, nice pillows, good lighting. The kitchen and dining areas, keep them as newly renovated as possible. It's what people are looking for these days. Style it with plants, clean surface tops, a nice tasteful place setting, a bathroom, so like simple little touches going on, some hand towels, attractive soap dispensers, little bit of greenery maybe can all improve the space. So spare rooms, they don't have to be fully styled, but putting a bed or a desk can help show buyers how to use the space. So number 3, I would say play with the light in the space. So the key of staging is to show the house potential. So looking at the space, make sure it's functional, it's glowing, it's flowing. So use mirrors, for example, to bring in more natural light into the room to make the rooms feel bigger. So keep pathways clear to guide people through the space naturally. Furnitures with rugs to define different areas, like the rug, so like the dining room to the lounge. Avoid pushing furniture to the walls. This creates a sense of space and can make a room feel too empty and awkward. So make the property feel bigger, brighter, and more inviting. When staging, your main objective is to make the space look as appealing as possible without overwhelming the buyers or the renters. So keep it neutral, but don't make it boring. Soft tones, nice cushions, artwork can really bring the space to life. Minimal accessories are pretty important. So candles, anything like that can add character without making too much clutter. Keep it minimal. It also adds light and energy into the room. So greenery also makes the space feel fresh. The key is to make an aspirational feel without overdoing it. You want to feel like you're in a jungle with the greenery. 5, first impressions count. So don't forget about the exterior of the property, because that really does matter a lot more than some people think. So people will make a decision within seconds of arriving. If they see the property, they think, oh, doesn't look that great, like a fresh coat of paint on the door, some potting plants, anything around the property to make it inviting really helps. Makes it welcoming, doesn't put people off in the first 5 seconds. Gives people a sense of tone and a feel as they walk in through the door. And remember, if you're marketing your property online, professional photography is a must. Like, without great photos, all the staging in the world won't matter. Let me show a real life example for staging to help it improve. So one of my friends and I worked on a basement flat. We invested £10,000 into staging, and the result was a huge win. So the property sold for £65,000 more than a similar flat next door. So same size, same layout, and listed by the same agent, but ours was much better based on staging. So purchase price £250,000, renovation price £50,000, design and staging £10,000. So the total investment was £310,000. So the final valuation is £450,000. So the staging strategy that we used helped to target the right buyers and gave the best features and moved the property off the market much faster. So how to stage on a budget. So staging doesn't have to break the bank. So a few ways that can get the job done on different budgets would be like DIY staging under £1,000, rental by making key pieces and budget items to create a polished look. So partial staging, like £500 to £1,000. So just focusing on the main rooms, the living area, the bedrooms, the kitchen, a mix of rented and purchased items, for example. So fast service staging is about £1,500 to about £3,000. If you want a complete transformation, hire professionals to take care of everything. If you're a developer, consider buying staging furniture that you can use in other projects. So staging versus interior design, we'll have a look at that. It's crucial to think about the staging in interior design. So interior design always comes first. So things like fresh paint, new kitchens, but staging is like the final polish on top. So it shows off the full market value of the property. So staging for rentals, I'd say staging isn't just for selling a home. It can also help with rentals, especially investment properties. So furnished properties can really help them to stand out. So serviced accommodation, for example, great photos, great for getting good bookings. Unfurnished rentals can benefit from staged photos that help tenants visualize the space, allows them to play with their imagination. Staged properties can reduce vacancies by up to 50%, which is huge. So some of my final thoughts would be staging strategy. In today's competitive market, staging is not just about making your property look nice. It's about creating an emotional connection for potential buyers or renters and helping them to see their lives in that space. So looking at the properties and investing in buy-to-lets or new builds, anything, staging can really help accelerating to get that yield back from sales or renters. So really thinking about that target market and really going for the engagement. So potential internal investments. So staging is a costly mistake if you do it wrong. It's money left on the table that we all know that's something you want to avoid. So staging can accelerate getting in tenants, selling the property, just allowing people to get a good vibe of the space that they're in and deciding if they like it or not. If it's an empty canvas, it can feel quite cold and uninviting, but if they see a nice cozy lounge, people are going to connect with that a lot better than an empty space with nothing in it. So I'd say staging is really worth it to try and engage with the client, to get them vibing with the property. It really does make a big difference. It's also sticks in their memory, which is really important when they're later considering, did I like the look of that one or did I not? I liked it because the sofa was comfy or it felt homely or I got a good vibe when I walked in. All these things are really important. So stay tuned for more property tips. So this one, we're looking at staging. Awesome. I would really recommend staging, just making it just make a better emotional connection with the people that are looking around the properties to really get that accelerated off the market, get it rented out, get it bought sooner. These little tips are really, really useful. So see you guys next time. Bye.